Hello. So in a previous video I showed you I had some issues with my monitor. Well, it's not really an issue, but at the same time it is. It has to do with selecting the resolution for my monitor. You can see I have two monitors here. It's a 24-inch HP, one from Dell. And you see my 24-inch here, the native resolution on these monitors is 1920 by 1200. So the aspect ratio is 16 by 10 instead of 16 by 9. And you can actually click here resolution and you get a couple of options. And you can see here that there is no 1080 setting or resolution. You got a bunch of 16 by 10 and 4 by 3 and 5 by 4, but there is no 16 by 9 resolutions, which is kind of weird, I thought. And this is the default settings in Ubuntu. Okay, so I went into the Nvidia X server settings here because I actually installed the Nvidia drivers. Because when you install Ubuntu, it comes with the default Nouveau drivers. And I actually went into these software and updates and additional drivers. And the default one is this at the bottom here. It says Nouveau display driver, X server. Nouveau video Nouveau, but I actually installed the Nvidia binary drivers, open source, and because I think they work a lot better, especially when you go to game and stuff. And yeah, so and when you install those drivers you get this X server settings. You can see the driver version. And I went into the display configuration here and see my main monitor is selected. You have resolution here. Click here and here you actually got 1080. But it's scaled. And there is a difference between native 1080 and scaled 1080. And for example, if I select the scaled here and I go into a game, I can't change to 1080 in the game, even though the monitor here is set to 1080, which is kind of weird. But it's because it's scaled, so it's not a native 1080. So in the game, the video will be cut off at the bottom and the top because it's scaled, and I can't change to 1080 either. So it's kind of weird. And why do I want 1080? Well, I want it because, you know, I do recordings and YouTube and stuff are, you know, 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So there's kind of an issue with that. So what I did was, of course, search the internet. And I followed a guide saying that you can add a new kind of resolution mode or add a mode, and you do it with these X render commands. And I did all this and I checked the this is my main monitor. Up here you see it says HDMI 0. That's the port on the graphics card that the monitor is connected to. And this is the second monitor that I have. It's connected to DVI-D. And then I did do a kind of a check here, and I got this information and I did the new mode. But when I wanted to add the mode to the port, I got an error. Bad match, invalid parameter attributes and stuff like that. And I tried to search for that as well, and it turns out that this X render only works with the default Nouveau drivers. So if you installed actually the Nvidia drivers, this mode doesn't work. You can't add modes. only works with Nouveau. So it's kind of annoying that you have to use like the Nouveau drivers, the default ones, because I don't like them. Because I get better performance with the Nvidia drivers. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with 1920 by 1200 in Linux for recording. So when I do recordings like this, you have to deal with a black bars on the sides. So yeah, but I finally kind of got an answer why this doesn't work, and that's because I installed the Nvidia drivers. I don't really have any problems with that on a daily using it, but it's kind of annoying when I record videos that I can't change the native resolution. It works just fine in Windows, but not on Linux. So yeah, annoying as fuck. So this is why I don't really use Linux on a daily basis when I do streaming and recordings. But when I do Linux, you basically have to deal with a higher resolution and black bars on the sides. So yeah, see you later.